In this video, I'm going to show you 10 things that elegant women never do in public. Hi, how are you? I'm Juliana Santiago, etiquette teacher and co-founder of the Institute of Etiquette and Protocol, the Institute of Etiquette and Protocol. And today we're going to talk a little more about things that elegant women never do in public or things you should avoid. So stay with me in this video so you can understand what the 10 worst mistakes to make in public are. The first mistake is showing that you're late. Even more than actually being late, which is already a huge mistake, it's a breach of etiquette. Showing that you're late will make you lose a lot of your elegance. So for example, running around in high heels, especially when you end up making a lot of noise, and that ends up not being very elegant for those who see it, for those who are close to you. Or when you arrive very late and end up sweating a lot under your arms because it's really hot. Especially for us who live here in Brazil, where it's really hot. So showing that you're late, mainly through your appearance, the way you walk, your habits, or even your clothes, these things will make you lose your elegance. So not being late is already important, but showing that you're late is even worse. Another thing that makes you lose your elegance is adjusting your underwear. You know, when your panties ride up, then you have to fix it because it bothers you. Ideally, you should go to the bathroom and with a bit of privacy, adjust your underwear. Doing that in front of other people is not appropriate. Just like adjusting your bra or something that could even put you in a bit of an awkward situation. And your parts could even end up being exposed. So that's not good for you, and it's also not good for your elegance. Look, another thing that makes you lose your elegance in public is talking loudly on the phone. You know, when you're close to other people or even in a place like a mall or supermarket. Not just at the party, but in another environment like a waiting room. And the person keeps talking on the phone really loudly to the point that it disturbs the environment. So be very careful about how loudly you talk on the phone with the people you call. Audio. Nowadays, sending voice messages is very common, so it's important for us to pay attention to the volume of our voice. And if you want to talk to people in a more private, more intimate way, with more freedom, the ideal thing when talking on the phone is to step away a little. So, for example, at a party, go to a more private area, sometimes even go to the bathroom if there isn't a more private place at the party. If there's no balcony, for example, or you can go to the entrance of the event and stay there outside talking if that's possible. If you're at a mall, a supermarket, or public place, you can also go to a more private corner, where not only will you be able to talk better in a more intimate and private way, but you'll also be in a place with less noise. So when you're in a quieter environment, naturally your tone of voice is already lower. If you're somewhere people are talking loudly, you'll want to speak louder than those with you. So, going to a more secluded place will not only make you look more elegant and individual, but it also keeps your privacy and you don't have to make others take part in your calls and your private matters. Another thing that elegant women don't do in public is having a closed-off expression. Usually the most elegant women, usually elegant, they are willing to connect with other people, whether it's to meet or interact with others, or even just to really show their presence. When you smile, when you maintain a more positive attitude, people naturally see you as more charismatic, more open to connections. That makes the person feel more sympathetic toward you. So whenever you can, have a more open, more positive facial expression. Of course, you don't need to force a smile all the time because that can come across as fake. But it is important for you to keep a smile and a positive look on your facial expressions. If by any chance you're not feeling well that day, consider whether it's worth going to a certain party or a certain event. And if you have to be somewhere but you're not feeling well, you can simply mention it. Today isn't going well for me, and people will see this isn't my usual self. But especially if you're building relationships there, if it's your first time in a certain environment, if you're going to be with those people for the first time, ideally you should be open and positive, and that needs to be shown and clear in your expressions. Another thing that can make you be considered totally inelegant is talking about controversial topics in group conversations. You know those topics that you feel will create different groups and opinions, or that will divide the group conversation? For example, politics. You show up and mention who you voted for. Oh, did you see that the former president launched a line of perfumes? So it's complicated, delicate, even bringing up news and everyday situations that are in the media that are related to controversial topics. Politics is a highly controversial topic. Other topics related to someone's privacy, like their job, for example, how much they earn, the types of clients they have. You have to be very careful about how these topics are discussed. It's also important to be very careful with sensitive topics, which can also make the person feel bad. Like, for example, asking a single person if they're dating or if they plan to get married. For a couple who has been married for a long time, if they want to have children. Awkward or controversial questions and conversations won't be interesting in a possible group discussion. And if you're enjoying the videos here on the channel, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, Etiquette and Protocol. Like this video, it helps. This video will reach more people. And if you like the content, don't forget to follow me, especially on Instagram, which is Etiquette Protocolo. Every day I open a question box there and you can send your questions. I would love to hear from you. Another thing that elegant women never do in public is have bad table manners. Pay attention to the way you hold your cutlery, how you cut your food, and how you behave at the table. If you have a habit, for example, of using toothpicks, how do you hold a glass? A glass, even if it's a beer glass, regardless of the drink. It's important to have good table manners because that will show a lot about your posture and who you are. So, be careful not to talk with your mouth full or leave too many items on the table like your phone, purse, keys, or to touch up your makeup at the table as well. That's not elegant. So, paying attention to your behavior at the table will make all the difference. And speaking of other factors that can make you come across as inelegant, it's about your posture. So every time you walk, sit, and especially when you're in a public place, it's essential that you try to have the best posture possible. A sloppy posture, sometimes with your shoulders slouched or even too out of shape, When you're not 100% upright and ready for the environment to enjoy that situation. They will show that you are an inelegant person. That impression will be formed right there. Even if you don't say a word, the person will see you as someone inelegant. We talk a lot about body language here on the channel because this is one of the main factors for someone to be seen as secure, self-confident, and having presence. Your body expressions say a lot about who you are and the feelings you have. That's why if you always keep a posture with your back straight, with your body prepared, without looking down too much, suspicious and closed off to situations, it makes people not only see you as elegant, but also have other impressions of you like self-confidence and security, which I'm sure you who are watching this video are also looking for. And if you want to understand a little more about how to have a more elegant posture, to work on your body language so you can always be well interpreted, I recommend that you take our Etiquette and Good Manners training, which is a super complete course where you will learn everything from how to have good posture. About table manners, digital etiquette, behavior at parties, in restaurants, you will get an overview of etiquette and good manners nowadays. This course has already been taken by thousands of people, and if you haven't participated in any training from our school yet, you can enter the coupon YOUTUBE and get a special discount. I'm waiting for you, just click the link below. To join our training, don't forget to enter the coupon YOUTUBE to get your discount. Another thing that elegant women never do is be rude to service providers. Actually, an elegant person isn't rude to anyone, but often people believe that being elegant means treating only those close to you well. Yes, that's important. But what about the other people? The people who help you, who assist you, who serve you? For example, when you go to a restaurant, how do you treat the waiter? How do you treat the receptionist at the doctor's office when you go there for an appointment? What is the way you interact with these people? And when things don't go as expected, in fact, you got irritated with something that happened. Your order took a long time, the doctor is taking too long to see you. How do you make complaints? Are you harsh with these people? Are you rude? Are you impolite? Or do you actually know how to assert your rights and make your points in a gentle and kind way so you can truly be seen as an elegant person? So, it's essential for you to observe the way you treat other people, not just your friends, family, or coworkers. It's important for you to treat everyone around you in a consistent manner. And of course, another thing that an elegant woman never does is dress inappropriately for a situation or for a certain type of event. So an elegant woman tries to follow the dress code, the appropriate attire, regardless of the type of situation. Even for a lunch with friends, she cares about how she will present herself there. So she also likes to show through her clothing that the event is important to her. This is very important. When we talk about dressing appropriately, we're not just talking about looking presentable to make a positive impression or to feel better, but the clothes you wear also show other people that the place you're in, that the environment you're in is important to you. Imagine at a simple lunch with friends, like the example I'm mentioning here. You always go in gym clothes. People start to understand that the gym for you is sometimes more interesting. Of course, there can be special situations and contexts where you had to leave the gym and go out in your workout clothes, or sometimes your job requires you to wear gym clothes. But think with me in a more literal way. If you show up to a lunch with your friends all sweaty, still in that context, do you think it shows that the lunch is important to you? Sometimes you have a dinner planned and you show up in gym clothes. So it's always important to pay attention to the context. For example, at a barbecue or a really casual party where there's going to be a pool, you wouldn't show up in a sweatshirt or even in party clothes. It doesn't make any sense. The ideal thing is for you to go in an appropriate way, wearing clothing that's suitable, appropriate for that situation. You might not want to swim or wear swimwear at this barbecue. But it's a good idea, knowing it's a barbecue and there will be a pool, to wear clothes that fit that situation so you can be part of that context. That's what it means to be elegant through your clothing. And it's much more than just the things you wear, the accessories you use, or the choices you make in your clothing. They also have a very strong impact and build an image of who you are and what kind of message you want to convey to other people. I've already made a video on the channel showing 10 accessories that make someone look more elegant. And I'm sure you'll enjoy watching this video. I'll leave it here on the side so you can watch it next. I'll stop here. Hugs! See you in the next video.